Okay, so this question here, question 15, is just asking whether this ordered pair works in this equation. Okay, so if x is 2 and y is negative 5, right, I'm going to put a 2 here because x is 2, that'll make 10. If I put a negative 5 here where the y is, negative 3 times negative 5 is oh, looks like it does work. Is that right? Yeah, 10, yeah, equals 25. Okay, so it looks like that works. That's all it's asking for. Make sure that's fine. Yeah, okay, that's all it's asking for. Right. Okay, graphing. Now then, two ways to graph. Question 16 is showing it by intercepts, and then question 17 is the slope-intercept equation of a line. So let's actually have a look at, well, let's do question 17 first, because a lot of people might be familiar with this one. This is looking at y equals mx plus b, okay, where m, the number next to the x, is the slope, and b at the end is the y-intercept. Okay, and the reason why it's the y-intercept is, think about this. If I do this right now, so I can see now that that negative 5 is, I'm going to put down here, the y-intercept right down there. Okay, there's your y-intercept. Now, and the reason is because, look at this, when x is 0, okay, remember the y-axis is when x is 0. Okay, I'm not moving to the right, I'm not moving to the left, it's just on the y-axis, okay, this is when x equals 0, and when x equals 0, then that 2x has gone, okay, y equals negative 5, when x equals 0. So remember that, okay, x equals 0, you're going to get the y-intercept. I'll just write int for that, okay, now remember that, okay. Okay, so I'm starting at negative 5 down here. Now, the slope I have is 2, but you can think of that as 2 over 1, okay? It's actually nicer when you've got a fraction next to the x, because this is the rise over the run. It's the difference in the y's, which is 2, so it's going up 2, and it's going left and right along the x-axis 1. So what we say here is go up and over, okay? From negative 5, I'm going to count up a 1, 2, then go over a 1, it's positive, I'm going to put another x there, and that's it. I mean, if I can do a straight line, my straight lines are horrible on this thing. There's a little straight line thing on here. Let's see if I can do it nicely. Do this. Okay. Yes. So now I don't think it's 2 everywhere, so I'm going to go up 2 over 1 everywhere. I mean, you know, you don't have to do this if you want to, but there you go. Okay. There you go. That is y equals 2x minus 5. Slope of 2 up 2 over 1, and a y-intercept at negative 5, which is where I started. Right, where's the other one? Back to 16. Okay, now actually I like this. I do like these questions because it's as straightforward as this. Again, if I put x equal to 0, I'll get a y-intercept. Now can you see, that means if I put x equal to 0, this has gone. All I'm doing is doing this. Negative 2y equals 10. Okay, if negative 2y equals 10, divide both sides by negative 2, y equals negative 5. Which is a coincidence, it's like the last one. Okay, down here, my y-intercept down here. If I now put the y equal to 0, so here's the other thing, if I put y equal to 0, I'm going to get an x-intercept. Now a lot of times they can be harder, but this is pretty straightforward, because if I put this equal to 0, then can you see 5x equals 10, because the 2y is not there, so x must be 2, divide both sides by 5. Again, if I get my straight line tool, so we do this, and I'll just do something like that. There you go. Okay, there's 5x minus 2y equals 10. Now you can, if you want to, rearrange the equation to get, whoops, get my pen going, to get y equals, okay, but that involves a little bit of work, okay, but it's easy to do it by the intercepts. Right, I've got that one, we did that one, let's move on to this one. Okay, so last one for this video. Now this is evaluating functions, okay, here's a function, again function notation, x squared minus 3x plus 9. So, here's the explanation. What does f of negative 4 mean? F of negative 4 must mean I've put negative 4 where the x is, okay, I've replaced the x with negative 4, okay, then do it here, and do it here. Right, so x squared is now negative 4 squared. Remember, that's going to be positive 16. Negative 3x, again, this is now a negative 4. and then plus 9. If you put all that together, that's 16 plus 12 plus 9, which I believe is 37, and that's the answer. Okay, right, the next one. This is saying replace the x with a negative x, not with a number, but with the same letter but a different sign. I'm going to do the same thing again. X squared is now negative x squared because I replaced that x with negative x. Minus 3, again replace the x with negative x, and still plus 9. Now, a negative x squared will just take you back to positive x, because two negatives make a positive. Okay? Negative 3 times negative x is positive 3x, and then plus 9, and that, folks, is the answer. That's it. Now, a little kind of tip or trick for you here is, what happens when you replace an x with a negative x? Only the odd exponents will change sign. Think about it. An x to the fourth is 4 negatives. That goes back to being positive. An x squared, like this one was, goes back to being positive. But an x cubed, or an x to the power 1, which you can think of this, okay, up here, if I do that, x to the 1, okay, these are odd exponents, so these will change sign. So there's a kind of little tip for these. If you replace an x with a negative x, only the odd exponents will change sign. Something to think about later. Finally, the big one. Replace an x with an x minus 4. So x squared becomes x minus 4 squared, which means doing a FOIL, remember. Remember from the previous video? Don't just square the x and square the 4. Do a FOIL. Negative 3. X minus 4. I replace the x with x minus 4. And then plus 9. Now, if I do x minus 4 times x minus 4, I'm going to get x squared. You kind of need to do it slowly if you want to. Minus 8x. Just do a FOIL. Plus 16. Okay? That's what I'll get. Test it yourself. Distributive law here. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And a plus 9. Okay, put it all together. This should give me x squared, negative 8x, negative 3x, that's negative 11x. I'm just combining like terms. That was me doing here, negative 8x and negative 3x. Then 16, 12, and 9 is, folks, exactly the same as up here, plus 37. The reason why it turns out to be the same, can you see, that has a negative 4 in, just like that did. Okay, so a little tip if you see that on the test. Okay.